Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and today we're going to take a look at the new DC Collectibles 7-inch Earth 2 New 52 Hawkgirl figure. The figure comes packaged in your standard DC Collectibles type window box packaging. You've got the Earth 2 logo up at the top. The figure is clearly displayed in the window box. For this figure you've got white with dark blue borders. And then down below you have the Earth 2 and the DC Comics New 52 Hawkgirl name. On one side you have the darkened in image of the character, and then on the other side you have an image of the figure itself, and it tells us that the figure is based on artwork created by Nicholas Scott and Brett Booth, and that the figure was sculpted by Sam Greenwell. And finally on the back you've got the little thumbnail image of the figure up at the top, a little brief bio about the character, and then a look at other figures in the Earth 2 line. The Bruce Wayne as Batman, Earth 2 Superman, and Earth 2 Green Lantern. Okay, so let's get this figure open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging, and DC Collectibles has done a good job with the overall sculpt and look of the figure. Looks very true to what you see in the comics for the Earth 2 Hawkgirl character. A lot of detail on the wings with the feather sculpting and some nice wash work on the feathers, so it's just not all white. So I think the wings come out looking pretty good for the most part. She's got a pigtail sculpted, which is done with a kind of a soft, that soft rubbery material. Now one thing I want to note, I don't think it's technically meant to be removable, but the pigtail actually comes off, or at least mine did. It pulled off. You can put it on there, but it does have a tendency to fall off pretty easily. Again, I don't think it's probably really meant to be removable. I don't know why it would be, but just be aware that if you pull on that pigtail at all, it's probably going to pop off. Again, you can pop it right back on, but just something to be aware of. So the head sculpt on this figure I think looks really good. I think they've captured the overall likeness of the character with the head sculpt. She's got the kind of almost metallic blue and silver with the gold eyes on the helmet, which I think looks good. Then she has a very kind of dark maroon lipstick and some blue markings on her face. You can see her hair come out the back, again with that pigtail. And then the rest of the costume is basically a very dark navy, almost black, blue, and lighter blues. She's got kind of that half top, so you see, from her midsection down is her skin. You can see her belly button sculpted on the figure. She's got a belt that's basically looks like it's a separate piece that's glued on, and then she's got a working gun holster and a working knife sheath on her ankle. Now with my figure at least, there are a few blemishes on the paint. On the one ankle right above her boot there's some white, looks like where maybe some paint has chipped. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but there are some markings there. And then just throughout the figure there's some like paint specks and stuff. It's nothing major, and it's probably just on my figure, but when you're purchasing the figure you may want to just look it over, make sure for any kind of major paint errors. Again, on mine nothing major, just some minor scuffs and paint scratches. Okay, so for accessories, the figure comes with a knife, which got a black handle and just a silver blade. Not a whole lot of detail, a little bit of detail on the handle with the leather wrappings. So it looks pretty good. And again, it fits on that knife sheath that's on her ankle. And then she comes with her gun. And again, gun's just all silver, not a lot in the way of paint detail, but there's some nice sculpting on it. And then it fits on a gun holster, and the gun holster is kind of open in the back, so it just kind of slides in there, and it fits snugly in the holster, so it works good. And she can hold the gun. It's really meant to hold in her right hand, and she holds it pretty good. And then she holds the knife in her left hand. You can switch up, have her hold the gun really in either hand, but she holds it better in her right hand. And she also comes with the wings, which are removable. In fact, when you open her out, take her out of the packaging, the wings are not attached to the figure. The wings basically just fit in, have little pegs on the end, and just fit on holes on her back. Now I will tell you that, especially when you're first trying to put the wings in, the holes are not quite big enough, so you really have to push hard to get it in there, and it's kind of difficult because they have this, the pegs are on these articulated joints to allow you to have movement on the wings. So as you're trying to push them into those holes that just aren't quite big enough at first, you know, the peg kind of has a tendency to move on you. So getting the wings into those holes when you're first opening it, at least with my figure, was a bit of a challenge. So just something to be wary of. Okay, so the figure stands at just a little bit under 7 inches tall. She is a little bit shorter than the Earth 2 New 52 Green Lantern figure, and even is a little bit shorter than the Earth 2 New 52 Flash, though they're pretty close to about the same height. Flash is just a little bit taller. Articulation on this figure is okay. It's not that great though, especially it's not really conducive to getting her in any kind of good flight poses, which is unfortunate. But she is on a ball joint. She can look left and right, no problem, even with the pigtail. Though again, that pigtail may have a tendency to fall off when you're turning the head. She has some up and down movement, can kind of pivot to the left and to the right. But really can't look up very much, which again is kind of unfortunate for flight poses. Arms are on your standard ball hinge joints, so she's got good rotation. She's got a bicep swivel. She's got single hinged elbows, so she can bend her elbow about that much. And then she's got swivels at the wrist, but no hinges at the wrist. No midsection articulation, so again, you know, not able to really get her in any kind of really good flight poses. And then her legs, she can only do her leg, way the legs are sculpted, they're on ball joints, but she can only do her leg forward about that much. She can get her legs out, so she can do the splits about that much. And then kind of back that much. But basically, because the way the legs are sculpted with the belt and everything, she can't do her legs forward very well. She has no thigh swivel, single hinged knee, so she can bend her knee about that much. She does have a boot swivel, but no ankle articulation, which again is a bit disappointing. The figure with the wings on is a little bit top heavy, which is, you know, pretty much expected with any kind of figure with wings like that, but because there's no articulation in the wing or in the ankles, it makes it very difficult sometimes to get her to stand, especially in any kind of like real kind of pose. So it's kind of disappointing that there's no kind of ankle joint or pivot or anything there. She has one peg hole in the bottom of her foot. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I think the figure looks good. If you're just going to have it stand there on your shelf, then I think it'll fit in nicely with your other Earth 2 figures. So sculpt-wise and everything, I think the figure is solid. I am disappointed with some of the lack of articulation with the neck and the ankles and even midsection, basically preventing you from being able to get her in any kind of good battle or flight poses. But other than that, it's a nice figure. This figure is out, was released last week. I apologize for getting this review up late, but I was in New York covering Comic-Con last week. But it is out there now, so if you want to pick her up, check your local comic or specialty shop. And that's my review. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the figure. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll check you later.